Hi, I'm Tulsi. Welcome to Fitness Chicks. Welcome to your lower body strength session today. Now, you may have noticed I've got a mini band with me today. So if you do have one, mine's pretty light resistance. If you do have one, please do grab that. And I've also got two kettlebells. Mine are 8 kilograms each. So whatever weight you've got, if you've got dumbbells, kettlebells, bring them for some added resistance. You don't need them, but for some of the exercises like a bent over row or an RDL, it can provide some extra bit of resistance. So that's all you're going to need today. Come grab some water, grab a mat, and just a quick reminder, we do not do a warm-up session today. So it is a 1 minute, 3 exercises, and then we go straight into our complex of 5 exercises. Now, normally they take about 3 minutes just to go through one round, but we're gonna add in repetitions on this one, okay? So during the second round, you're probably gonna get a little bit more familiar with it. During the third round, you're gonna be a pro, and then I'm gonna change it up, obviously. I'm gonna raise my leg up. Now I can do it just here, but I just don't feel enough. Bent over row, okay? So taking the kettlebells, and we're just going to drop into a nice bent row position, drawing that navel in towards the spine. And just take your time on this one, because even if you did warm up, this is our main session. So let's just get used to the arms doing the work, the back supporting our abdominals. We're pulling our abdominals, really working that posterior chain. Now I say I'm doing glutes, but we cannot leave out that back and do some all over body session today. So it's a little bit of arms, a little bit of a back, a little bit of legs. Beautiful, couple more seconds, stick with me. Next exercise, we're gonna do alternating lunges. Couple more reps. Beautiful, dropping the weight. And I'm not gonna use the weight for my alternating lunges because, well, I just don't want to. So I want to use this lunge so I can lean forward with my torso and really work into the glutes, yeah? So in this one, I want to make sure my glutes are nice and tight. I'm nice and solid with those legs. And I'm really working the hamstrings. And if you notice, my knee isn't going all the way down to the floor, because I can definitely feel my glutes even when I just kick my leg back. Couple more seconds here. We're gonna go for a minute squat on the next one. So I'm gonna take that band back and put it over my thighs. So if you threw it away, grab it. Last 3, 2, 1, beautiful. Do not underestimate these 1 minute exercises. Oh my gosh. When you're ready, nice squat position and lift. Whew. Okay, my heart rate is up. I am ready for this main session. I hope you are too. So remember, hips back, torso nice and straight. Keep pulling those knees, driving the knees towards the 3rd and 4th toe. And then you're driving the knees back out as you stand. Pulling in the abdominals. Couple more seconds, couple more reps. 2, 1. Keep the band on. We are going to go into a squat for our main session. Just give yourself a little bit of a breather. So that was our 3 minute warm up. It was almost like a preparation for our main session. So pause, breathe, take a quick drink before we go into the next 3 minutes. And this is our main session. Squats, tricep extensions, loaded lunges, bent over row, RDLs. So we're going to do repetitions. We're not just going to do 1 rep each because it just becomes a little bit irrelevant. So 10 squats with the band or without, whatever you pick. Off you go for 10, 9, 8, 7. Remember, take your time on this one. See if you can go a little bit lower. Drive those knees out, squeeze the glutes on the top. Last 3, 2, 1. I'm going to stay up this time and I'm just going to get rid of the band. Do not need it. And in this position, I'm going to take actually stand on my knees because you won't be able to see the weight. I am going to lower the weight behind my head and then straight back up to the sky. So my knees are underneath my hips, keeping me stable. My arms are trying to draw in. So the reason we're doing this standing is so our torso can actually bear some of the brunt work. Good, halfway. Keep it slow and controlled. The main thing here is to squeeze the glutes and to make sure your elbows are drawing into one another. Last 2 here. Last 1. Excellent. Lower it down. Loaded lunges. So I'm going to take both kettlebells this time and alternating for 5. So 5 on each side. Take your time on this one. This is 3, 2, last 1. Beautiful. Bent over row this time, scooting those hips back. Bent over row, pulling that navel in for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And RDL. Lower with control. Pause at the bottom if you can. This is for 10. Slow and control does it. Soft bend to the knees, scooting those hips back, belly button in. So this is number 5 for me. So take your time. Last 1 here. Whew. And rest. So that was just shy of 3 minutes. So that took us about 2.5 minutes. We wouldn't have had time to do another round. We could have done more squats in between. But hopefully this rest will give us a little bit of time to get our breath back, to let our muscles recover and rejuvenate, so then we can attack this second session with vigor, with energy, right? Now some of you might be thinking, oh, I can go on to the next one, it's fine. And that could be great, but the whole point of our rest is so we can execute that exercise to the best of our ability, and the reps can then become better quality, yeah? So let's get started. Set ourselves up into a squat position. So 10 squats here. Go with your feet either hip distance or shoulder distance wide. Feet are a bit like a duck, so they're splaying outwards, and we're going to go for our second round now. So 10 reps here. See if you can lower down with control on this one this time. And get a few more reps, a few more quality reps with an increased range of movement, yeah? So that was 6 for me. Driving those knees out, squeezing the glutes on the top. Last 2. Last 1. Beautiful. Dropping that band away. drawing myself onto the knees. You can do this standing. If you do it on your knees, it might take a little bit more effort to maintain the hips forward, the torso strong. So in a way, you could probably use your core a little bit more on the kneeling position, but you do you. Figure out what helps. Some of you might want to lay down on your back and just do a skull crusher. So I know for me, some days that's good because then I can protect my lower back, right? So 4 more here. 3, 2, 1. Grabbing the kettlebells again. And this time I'm going to go into my reverse lunge. So I'm going to do a static lunge this time. So we're going to do 5 reps on each side, lower down with control and lunge. Lower, lunge. Last 3, 2, 1. Swap sides. Stick that leg back, lower down with control. Have a nice lean with the upper body if you want to have a little bit more emphasis around the glutes. Last 2, last 1. Beautiful. Bend over row this time. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. RDLs for 10. Pause at the bottom. Squeeze the glutes at the top. Good, 2 more for me. Beautiful. Lower down with a weight. Give yourself a little bit of a breather. Now, if you felt that was still, again, a little bit easy, just trying to get my breath back. If you felt that was a little easy, we are going to pause on the next one and elongate some of the concentric work, right? So basically what we're going to do is we're going to do a squat, but we're going to pause at the bottom. We're going to do a tricep extension, but pause at the back. We're going to do a loaded lunge, but the arms are going to be on top this time. So you've got a few variations. You can do a lunge without, you can do a lunge loaded, you can do a static lunge, or you can do a reverse lunge with the arms on top. 4 different ways, guys. Bent over row, we're going to do 5 with both arms, then we're going to do 5 alternating arms, and then we're just going to do our conventional RDL. Nothing changes on our last exercise. I've already overloaded the brain now, right? So for those of you who are ready, let's grab our trusty tools. Remember, you can do this without band. I like the band because it really forces the engagement of my glute meads. So last round, let's go. Pause at the bottom, don't forget that pause. So we're gonna take the momentum out, drive the heels into the floor and push up, squeeze the glutes at the top. So that was 3 for me. Keep that torso up nice and high. Good, 4 more for me. I think this is the last one. I think I overcounted. Beautiful. If you did actually count and stopped when you needed to, well done. Taking the kettlebell or dumbbell, whatever you've got, taking the palms up overhead, elbows nice and close to your ears, bringing those elbows in, pause, and then push back up. So squeeze the glutes, squeeze the abdominals, squeeze those elbows together as we pause. This is number 3 for me. So remember, we've got 10 here. Good, mine's 3 to go here. Draw those elbows in, 2, 1, beautiful. Taking the kettlebells this time, and I'm gonna go into a lunge variation, but with my arms on top. So whichever lunge you prefer. This is the last rep for me. Beautiful, bent over row. 5 reps here with both hands. 4, 3, 2, 1. Alternating for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. This time, feet hip distance, lower down for an RDL for 10. Squeeze the glutes on the top. Just 3 more for me. Last one. Excellent. Whew. Now we get a breather. So we're not really going to need the kettlebells for our next round. We are going to need our band though. Okay, so we are going to go through a series of glute hamstring work on this one. Band isn't actually needed, but I'm going to use it as an additional support anyway. Okay, so if you do have that, please grab it. So grab a quick drink. We're going to go straight into our next 3-minute cluster. So we're going to start with banded bridges, okay? And then we're going to use the weight actually. I lie. We're going to use the weight and we're going to go for loaded banded bridges, okay? So first one, we're going to go for 20 reps. When you're ready, we're going to pulse up for 20. If you don't want to count, I am counting, so you don't need to focus on the reps. I will forewarn you when we are halfway, and then also tell you when to add the loaded work in. So remember on this one, feet pushing into the floor. That's what's lifting your hips up. Squeeze the glutes on the top. Halfway now. Keep focusing on the midpoint of your upper back. All 4 corners of the feet pushing into the mat. Lifting up those hips. Squeezing the glutes on the top. 5 more reps here. Keep driving those knees, pushing them into the band for 3, 2, 1. This time taking the weight, whatever weight you have, I'm gonna just place it on my pelvis. Now, just find a spot that's comfortable for you, okay? Lift up. We're gonna go for another 20 here. So again, I will count. You just focus on your technique. Focus on driving those feet into the floor. Focus on squeezing the glutes at the top, opening up the hip flexors, and really feeling those hamstrings, feeling those glutes. Good, we are halfway here. 10 to go here. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. We're going to flip over this time. I'm going to leave the weight to the side. I'm not going to need that for the next few exercises, so I'm going to turn over to my side, hip stacked upon hip, and then push against the band. Again, you can do this if you don't have a band. We're going to go for 10 reps here. That was 3. This is 4. Pushing the hips forward, squeezing the glutes. That was 5. Keeping the heels together. 3, 2, 1. slowly, carefully flip yourself over. So remember, you can just go over to the other side, and we're going to do the clams on this side too. Now, I don't feel this one when my heels are together, hence the reason I'm lifting my heel up off the mat, but I'm still so careful to keep my hips stacked upon hip. I don't want to be moving my back, moving my hips too much. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Similar movement, but this time we're going to go onto all fours, and I'm just going to kick my leg out. Now, this might be a little bit too much with the band. If it is, just take the band away. No worries. We're going to go for 10 reps again here. We are already halfway. Stick with the same leg. We're going to go for a donkey kick for 10. And then we're going to flip legs, switch legs, should I say. Flip sides. Good. I am halfway here. Remember, hips are pointing towards the mat. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Swap sides this time. So again, if the band is a bit too much, take it away. But remember, your knee doesn't need to come very high. It doesn't need to come in line with the hip. Last 5 here. 4, 3, 2, 1. Flip over. 2, kick behind you for 10. 9. Keep that foot flexed. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh my goodness. Let's have a bit of a breather. That first stage felt a little bit easy. And then as we were going to the end, I think my hips were telling me that they wouldn't be able to take work my glutes a little bit higher. So it really depends upon which stage you're at, what you did yesterday, and how your legs are feeling. So we're going to do that 2 more rounds, and then you are done. So we are nearing the 30-minute mark here. And again, for those of you who are so amazing and you keep showing up every week, I thank you so much for sticking with me and being here. And for those of you who are new, welcome, and thank you so much for sticking almost to this end point now. So please do hit subscribe if you like it, and click the notification bell so you don't miss out on future videos with me. So are we ready for round 2? Now we've had a little bit of a break. Taking ourselves back over onto our back. I'm keeping the weight nearby so I don't need to reach out for it. So we've still got a couple of seconds if you want to prep that. Feet are hip distance, my knees are pushing against the band, hands alongside my body, and then push up for 20. Remember, we're pushing up by pressing our feet into the floor and squeezing our glutes at the top. If you know anything about me, you know I like glute bridges, but this wasn't always the case. I always used to struggle to engage the glutes and the hamstrings, but when I was told I need to push the ground away, then that made such a difference, because I always felt like I needed to lift my hips up, but then my back was doing the work. So I really want to make sure my legs are supporting me and my hamstrings and glutes are actually feeling a lot more than I would have before just by lifting my hips up. Yeah, so we are 5 more reps here to go as I was babbling on about my glutes. I hope you're feeling yours too. Last 2, last 1. Perfect. Now here, taking the weight, placing it on a comfortable position, and then we're going to go for our 20 reps here. Again, try not to push up with the hips. We're pushing up by pressing our feet into the mat, pushing our knees against that band. if you have that. And don't even worry about going very high. This isn't the aim of this. This is just to get those hamstrings and glutes engaged. Good, we are halfway here. I don't know about you, but I could definitely feel my hamstrings burning now. That means they are having fun. Okay, 5 more reps here. 5, 4, 3, try not to rush these. 2, 1, beautiful. Take yourself over onto your side. Hip stacked upon hip, and my left glute needs a bit more work, so I'm okay with a band and it keeping my heels together, halfway here, keeping the hip stacked upon hip, pushing my top hip forward. 3, 2, 1, and then slowly flipping over. And again, my right side, my right hip seems to be a lot stronger. So this time I'm going to raise my leg up. Now I can do it just here, but I just don't feel enough for me. So I want to keep my heel, my knee, and my hip in one line in that angular position. 5 here. And then my foot is still flexed. For some reason, I definitely feel it in my hamstrings when I keep my foot flexed. 2, 1, flipping yourself over. This time I'm going to start with my left side. So making sure your hands are underneath your shoulders. I'm going to take my left knee for 10. And again, I'm not going to be able to go very high. Just you do you. Figure out a range of movement that suits you today. Tomorrow might be different. Next week might be different. But let's just focus on the now. Last 3, 2, 1. Flip up for 10. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and opposite. So last 10 for our fire hydrants. Two more here. Last kick for 10. 9, 8, keep that foot flexed for 4, for 3, 2, 1, and rest. Oh, I definitely felt that one on that last few exercises. I felt like my fire hydrants weren't getting as high and my donkey kinks weren't getting as high either. But again, your muscles, we're pushing them to a point of 3 minutes worth of strength exercises, hence the reason we need those 60 seconds rest so we can come back into it. This is a really nice one as well. If you sit back into your heels, you're just stretching out the glutes. If you need a bit more of a stretch, take your upper body forward and just go into a nice child's pose, resting up any issues, any niggles you have around your back. We are on the home straight, everyone. This is our last one. Are you ready? Let's go into it. Let's set ourselves up for success on our last round, pushing into the mat with our feet, taking our feet hip distance, and off we go for our last round. This is 20 reps here. Remember, I am counting, but all you need to do is push the ground away with the feet and push your knees against that band. Squeeze in the glutes at the top. Try not to rush this one. I really want you to feel the squeeze, even if it means you need to pause for a second, yeah? Good, 5 more here. 4, 3, 2, 1. Taking the weight. Remember, you don't need to take the weight. If you want to leave the weight aside, that's okay. But if you've got it, if you've got it or not, we are still doing 20 reps again. Keep pushing those knees away, feet pushing into the mat. This is our last one of glute bridges. Halfway. Two more. Beautiful. Switch over onto your side for your clams. Taking that hand on top, making sure it doesn't move too much forward and back. Squeeze in the glutes. And again, don't worry if the knee isn't coming up too high. All I want you to do is figure out if you can feel those glutes, yeah? And you're definitely going to feel it in the donkey kicks and fire hydrants. Swap yourself over. Pulling that navel in again. And remember, if you're a little bit like me and you need to take that extra bit of pressure into the glutes, we're going to come up and lift the heel off away from the other one. So 5 more here. 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly make yourself back over onto the front. So here, fingertips are underneath your shoulders. Let's go for fire hydrants for 10. So similar to clams, but we're now on all fours. So basically that's what it is, clams. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Donkey kick back for 10. Keep pushing those hands into the mat. And then swap sides. So for 10 fire hydrants, don't worry if your knee isn't coming up too high. My left definitely isn't. I can't get it up any higher. Halfway. And donkey kick back for 10. And rest. Oh my gosh. Right, that was a little over 30 minutes, but I hope you found it so worthwhile and you're definitely feeling the glutes work, that core work, and a little bit into the arms when we did the first round too. So thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much for those who stick with me and continue to show up